Welcome into Sports Memos Betting Podcast, NFL Every Game on the Board with our first guest up, Minty Bets. Minty, welcome in. How are you?
Thanks. I'm good. Drew, how are you?
I'm doing good. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday out there to the listeners. Saturday's all right as well if you're listening on Saturday or Sunday morning. Got the top half of the card here with Minty, starting off with 251, 252, Miami at Cleveland. 46.5 being the total here, Minty. We're seeing Las Vegas mostly show 10.5s. That's the Browns laying at home. Offshore's mostly at 11. Miami Dolphins have been cashing some tickets more so than not of late, Minty. Are you looking to back the underdog here, like in Baker Mayfield and company?
The Dolphins have been covering pretty well, going 5-1 against their spread their last 6 games, but I don't know if they'll do it this week. This is a game that I'm definitely not going to watch, and I can tell you that I'm staying away from it because it's a double-digit spread, and I don't like those. Miami's defense is awful, allowing an average of 30 points per game, giving up 394 yards a game, and that's not going to cut it against guys like Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Looks like the Browns are finally getting it together, and it only took half the season, but here they are. The Dolphins have no ground game whatsoever. They're rushing for only 60 yards per game. Again, I don't know if they'll cover. The Browns are 4-1 against the spread, but I would lean the Browns if I really, really had to. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're the only ones scoring in this matchup. I also think that the Browns defense plays well, even without Myles Garrett for the rest of the season. It shouldn't have much of an impact this week. I also kind of like the under here. Cleveland's 3-1 to the under, so I'm kind of leaning the under 46.5. And again, not taking any sides, but if I had to, I might go with the Browns.
Okay, like in the under, yeah, you can get it as high as 46.5 as we're talking right now. Miami versus Cleveland, first game up. Second game up, Minty, we got 253, 254 Denver at Buffalo. We're seeing 37 being the total, with the Bills laying 3 in the hook at home. I believe this is the battle of the Allens at the quarterback position.
Oh, you're right. You are right. So despite losing, the Browns offense performed pretty well against the Vikings last week. Their defense was the one that was surprisingly off, allowing 20 points in that fourth quarter. So I think Denver kind of comes out of that funk this week and maybe not win, but I think the defense keeps it close. So we've got Denver, who's great against the run, allowing about 100 rushing yards per game, facing Buffalo, who has a very respectable ground game. Buffalo also has a defense that Denver will probably struggle with because the Bills are allowing about 7 points per game, and the Broncos already struggle to put points on the board as it is already. Sheesh. I don't think either teams will get very far scoring-wise. I like the Broncos to bounce back here at plus 3.5. I'm seeing it at plus 4 at some places, so hopefully it stays there. I like a low-scoring game at 37 seems awfully low. I'm not sure yet. Maybe the first half under bet. I think it's at 17.5 first half. So if it gets up to 18, I might take that. Just because, like we saw last week, the Broncos held the Vikings to 0 the entire first half and then got lazy and sloppy towards the end and blew their lead. So maybe the first half under, but I'm leaning the Broncos plus 3.5 or 4.
Okay, yeah, and we are seeing Pinnacle showing for CG Technology and South Point here in Las Vegas. CG Technology just bought by Will Hill, but
I heard.
Yeah, no, the odds screen's still showing 4. So you're right, it is a big deal in the sports betting marketplace. A lot going on, which Minty, I know you know a lot about. Your brand is getting out there, huh?
Yeah, kind of, I guess. If you want to say that, I don't think so, but yeah, I'm getting recognized when I go to the sports books now, so it's pretty cool.
Really, it's happened more than a couple times.
Yeah, like when I go to IKEA or like this weekend when I was at the Knights game, people, I posted that I was going, but like people were like, "Hey, can I meet you?" and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
Wow, a celebrity. Well, we appreciate it taking time for the small guys here on the Sports Memo Podcast.
My pleasure, of course.
A mainstay on Friday's show here. Actually, guys, next week, good note, scheduling obviously going to change with the holiday weekend. So try to get all the content out by Wednesday next week, just so you know. Looks like Monday's NFL opening line report. We'll have Tuesday, try to get all the college football every game on the board podcast out. And then Wednesday, Wednesday, the NFL Every Game on the Board podcast. But we got to work out the scheduling, so it's still to be determined. Follow us on Twitter at Sports Memo. You can follow me on Twitter at Drew Martin Bets, and also Minty on Twitter at Minty Bets. Minty, moving down the line here, we got 255-256 Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. We're seeing the Steelers -6 in the hook. Mason Rudolph, I don't know, is his head okay? Is he concussion protocol? How's that going? 38 being the total, Minty.
Yes. So, Drew, thanks for giving me the ugliest games on the card. This game is so ugly. I just don't know which direction to go. The Steelers are without Juju and probably without James Conner. So I don't really know how they're going to score a ton of points without those key starters. But then again, they are going up against the Bengals, who have not won a game yet. Mason Rudolph is coming off an ugly loss. They haven't actually been able to score more than 27 points this entire season, and they ranked 27th in yards per play. Ryan Finley played against some tough opponents his first two starts, and he's only passed for 282 yards and thrown for a touchdown and 2 interceptions, so that's not good. He's definitely going to struggle against the Steelers defense, who ranks 4th in sacks and 2nd in takeaways. I originally wanted to take the 6.5 points with the Bengals because of how ugly the Steelers offense looked last week and could potentially look this week. But it also occurred to me that maybe the Bengals are just going to play poorly on purpose because they just really have nothing to look forward to the rest of the season. No play for me, not even a total or side. I've been burned by the Steelers so many times. I just don't even want to take this game.
All good, Minty. Don't have to bet them all by any means. 257-258 New York Giants at the Chicago Bears. We're seeing the Bears -6 in Soldier Field, 40.5 being the total here, Minty.
Yes, it doesn't seem like it, but since they've lost 5 of their last 6 games, but the Bears defense is still one of the best in the league. It's just Mitch and their offense that gets them losing. The Bears don't run the ball very well, and they're averaging right under 80 yards per game. I'm pretty sure Chase Daniel is starting instead of Mitch Trubisky, and so because of that, I just can't really take a side because I haven't really seen him play that much. And the Giants are a coin toss. It's Daniel Jones plays pretty well, but they always find a way to lose. 3 of their last 4 games have been determined by less than a touchdown, which tells me they either don't get ahead in time or they just can't stop the ball in those last crucial moments. So no sides here. I kind of like the under, but I feel like I've been saying that I like the under in the last couple games, so I don't know if I want to take it. It's like a multiple choice question, you know? Where you B, I gotta choose C now.
Yeah. I was always more of a C guy. C, and then
C.
Yeah. But
exactly. But you know what I mean.
To each his own. We got Oakland at the New York Jets up next, Minty. We're seeing the Raiders -3 with some juice, depending where you're shopping. 46.5 or 47 being the total in MetLife.
Yeah, it's pretty low. The Raiders were favored by like 10.5 points last week, right, against the Bengals.
Yeah.
So surprising to see them at 3. The Jets are allowing the fewest rushing yards per game, and they looked pretty decent their last 2 wins. But then again, their last 2 wins were against the Redskins and the Giants, I believe. Derek Carr, to me, he's a pretty consistent quarterback, and he's got a great team behind him on the offensive side. So it'll be fun to see how Josh Jacobs does against this Jets defense that's only allowing less than 80 rushing yards per game. So in this Jets-Raiders matchup, the home team wins. They're 8-2-1 in their last 11 meetings. So, I have to side with the Raiders here because I think overall they're a better team and they'll take care of business easily even when on the road, because they were on the road for 6 weeks in the beginning. So I think they'll be fine.
I'm with you. I like the Raiders here. I think this number is a little short. And Oakland? Not many games left being the Oakland Raiders, Minty. Soon to be not your favorite team, though. We'll talk about your favorite team up next, right?
Right. This is my second favorite team.
Okay. We got Carolina, New Orleans up next, but guys, do want to give out the coupon code here, sportsmemo.com. You can get any play, unlimited uses using the coupon code Minty15. That will take $15 off anything on the site. So any 5% plays, any 3%, 4% plays, any 3-day all access passes. You can buy a whole full season. It will take $15 off the purchase price, whatever's in your cart at sportsmemo.com. Get Teddy covers. You can get mid-major mat, any handicapper, any play, any package, sportsmemo.com for $15 off using the coupon code Minty15. That's MINTY15 at checkout, sportsmemo.com. Last game here, Minty. We got Carolina at New Orleans, 47 being the total. Your Saints laying 10 flat here, laying doubles in the Big Easy, Minty.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. Wow, this morning I saw it at 9.5, and it might still be 9.5 somewhere. To be honest, right after the season started, out of all the opponents, I was kind of worried about Carolina the most, especially with Kyle Allen being the starter. He was performing so well, and Christian McCaffrey, he's just a bullet, just weaving through defenses so quickly and so swiftly. I'm like, but both these teams got whooped by Atlanta, which was super weird because the Falcons were losers and they just showed up out of nowhere, blowing these guys out on their own home turf. So I like the Saints to win here, but the spread is so high to me. The Saints haven't been great at covering when they've been favored by more than a touchdown. They're 4-8 against the spread in that situation. I'm leaning the Panthers, 9.5 or even 10. I also know that in this rivalry, they've hit the over 6 straight times, but I kind of like the under 47 because New Orleans hasn't been an explosive, high-scoring offense like they were last year and the year before. And the under has hit 5 of their last 7 games in the Superdome. So I like the Panthers for the points, and I kind of like the under at 47.
And Minty, I know you know the Saints team good, and you brought up that a good stat in terms of when they're favored more than a touchdown. I believe you said they're 4-8 in their last 12 ATS. Yeah. Can you think of a fundamental reason why, in terms of is the offensive coordinator just taking the pedal off the metal, or the quarterback position, either Drew Brees or the backup, kind of not throwing the ball downfield? Have you noticed a certain scenario of why they're not covering bigger numbers?
I think they're just as complete as they look. I don't think they're a complete team yet. I think they have some holes that they need to fix, especially protecting Drew Brees. I just don't see them, as much as I want to say they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. I don't see them making it to the Super Bowl because I just don't. They always just find a way to lose or just to come up short when it comes to covering the spread.
Yeah. So. No, that makes a lot of sense in terms of not being, the offensive line, in terms of you got to protect your quarterback in order to cover bigger numbers, because that's where, like you said, going into your analysis, the explosiveness comes from throwing the ball down the field. So if you can't keep your quarterback upright, tough to cover big numbers. So leaning towards Carolina, and you're right, there is a 9.5 out there that is at CG Technology, but mostly 10. So you should be able to get the Panthers plus the doubles in this one. So last game for us, Minty. And guys, coupon code Minty15 takes $15 off of sportsmemo.com. And Minty, right before the podcast, we were talking about the game in Mexico City, and I said it was the best atmosphere for an NFL game all season that I've seen in Mexico City. The Chargers, instead of going to Los Angeles, should think about maybe transitioning and being the team in Mexico, getting a whole country behind them. It's one of the biggest cities on the continent. I think that they could actually be successful. It'd be a smarter business decision. What's the reason you don't think that would happen?
Perhaps. I don't know. I just can't see Mexico City getting a professional football team. I mean, as much as I don't like LA having 2 of each team, like football and basketball, it does make sense for the Chargers to go to Mexico City, but I don't know. I mean, we might as well merge the CFL with the NFL and make it one big happy football family, and then have Mexico join in. And I don't know. I just don't see it happening. But, they've confirmed that they're not moving and there's no talks of moving. So it's heartbreaking for you, I'm sure, Drew.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say a lot, but then money can talk and change it. So
that's very, very true. I mean, I never thought that the Raiders would move here. So when I first heard it, I was like, they're probably going to take them back or something. But Here we are. We're getting them.
Yeah, the stadium is it looks already built to me, Minty. Every time I drive by, I'm like, man, they could play some bowl games there this off season. But
Yeah, right. And also, like, real quick, I know no one really cares, but I'm actually going to the UNLV game tonight versus San Jose State. It's going to be the last game in Sam Boyd Stadium, which is where they've been playing. And I went to UNLV, and I've lived here my whole life, and I've never been to a UNLV football game. So I think this one's going to be great. And of course, I'm going to go to the first one at Allegiant Stadium whenever they have it next year. So that should be pretty exciting.
yeah, for sure. So UNLV playing in the stadium as well, Minty, and I'm sure there are people out there that care. If not, I'm sure they'll let us know in the comments. But,
I'm sure they will.
So what we got I think it's what we're talking on Friday. San Jose State at UNLV tomorrow, 1 o'clock Pacific kick. I think it's 199-200. The rotation numbers we're seeing. San Jose State -7, 65.5 being the total. This is just off the cuff here, guys, and I know most people are listening are NFL. Do you have an opinion here? Because I kind of like San Jose State's the Spartans.
Really?
Their offense is definitely more explosive than UNLV's, in my opinion. So I would lay the 7 here with San Jose State. Have you looked to bet it at all?
I have not. I honestly don't keep up with UNLV football because I know it's just bad. But San Jose State's not that great either. I know. What did you say the total is? 65 or what was it?
65.
65. Okay. What do you think of the total? I think you may be over.
Yeah. I mean, the weather should be nice, conducive 4 points. It's just UNLV I had circled as an under team. I went to the Boise State game, and their defensive line's pretty active there, and they held Boise State offense kind of at bay. And since their quarterback, I haven't been keeping up with them as much either, Minty. So
I couldn't tell you the name of the quarterback. It's okay, Drew.
Okay. Armani Rogers, he got injured, and then the local kid from Henderson, he's pretty good, but he's young, so he's made a lot of mistakes. So I don't know. That's a lot of why I lean towards San Jose.
Well, you're making me really excited to go to this game, so.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
I'm still excited.
Okay. All right, Minty. Well, no, thanks for the time. Awesome podcast overall, and have fun at the game. UNLV San Jose State tomorrow. And guys, hit her up on Twitter at Minty Bets if you're out there tailgating.
Yes. Good luck, guys.
All right, Minty. Thank you, guys. Best of luck with your bets. We'll be right back with Robbie Vino doing the back half of the NFL Every Game on the Board podcast.